Hi, welcome. Oh my goodness, this is such a great day. This topic of today is choose life. And guess what? Today is, well, let me just rehearse this a minute. So, about um, December of last year, I was putting all of these in sequence, and then it randomly choose life was on May 6th, and then May 6th is my 57th birthday. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. So welcome to this Wednesday's webinar. I'm so excited that you have chosen to join us. And I have my beautiful friend with me, Barbie. Oh, she is so precious inside and out. And I am so honored that today she chose to just
choose life with you.
Choose life with me. To be the guest that I love her. So let me just give you a little bit of history about us. So how long have we known each other? Let's see, maybe year and a half. And it's just like two people. We're just the same, just twins.
Soulmate sisters. Very like meets like.
Yes, it's crazy cool how the Lord has just put good friends together. And so I am just so glad that you took time out of your busy schedule to come
I'm honored to be here on your birthday.
Thank you. She's so precious. We had to wipe. I was afraid my eyelashes were going to fall off. We had to wipe, but we were crying before this of all the beautiful memories we've had. But let me just explain to you how important Choose Life is. So I had two boys that were naturally born, and my first son, his name is Brandon. I almost aborted him. You've got to get the book, Life, Lies, Liar, and the Lioness. It's a beautiful story of our life and family and all that good stuff. And so I always on his birthday say, I saved your life, you saved mine. And it is so true, because we are just, if I would have chosen to abort him, it would have just been, I don't know. I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. I mean, oh my gosh, just not having him in my life. And then he's produced two beautiful grands and have a beautiful wife. And then I had the youngest son, his name is King Kramer, and we got in a wreck. And this is the craziest story. So both my boys, I and one had to choose life for both of the boys, which is crazy. And so the second one, we were going down the road, and he would always be on the main artery on my stomach. And when he would lay on that main artery, it would cause the blood to my brain and I would pass out.
Be blocked off, sure.
How is that? She's a nurse, so what is that called?
It's just a vasovagal. You just end up with no perfusion to your brain.
I love your brain. What is it called?
Vasovagal.
So I am in Chattanooga, dropped off our oldest son, which I have an older son and a daughter by marriage, and I adopted them, dropped him off at the airport. So I had my daughter in my car with me, and she and I and King, which is in my belly, was driving down. All of a sudden, he gets on that main artery. I drive all the way from 153 to the last Paul Huff Cleveland exit, and I could not see.
No recollection.
No recollection. I am driving.
That's terrifying.
I told my sweet daughter, my sweet 15-year-old at the time, Lacey, was beside me, and I said, baby, I can't see, so you're going to have to tell mom how to drive. And so for 20 minutes, 15-year-older, and we are praying.
It's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yes, literally. And so all of a sudden, Rick is in front of me with Brandon, and my daughter said, Mom, if you don't stop, you're going to hit Dad. I veered off the side of the road, went between a sign, almost into this muck. You could go over here and see it.
Oh, wow.
Perfectly. I went between that sign perfectly, and it was muddy, so my car stopped. And all of a sudden, so Rick has gone down a little bit. He paused. He came way over to where we were at. An ambulance.
How does this happen?
It's divine. So ambulance came by. He was a friend of ours on the opposite side of the road that knew us.
Too many miracles.
So when they get to me on the side of the road, Rick opened up the car. I fell out of the car because I was still, I had no recollection of anything. So Brandon's like, is she dead? Is she dead? And I do remember hearing things.
Sure.
So they took me to the hospital here, and they had my medical chart wrong. So they were about to take King at too prematurely, and they didn't have the way to do it.
What? Up here, sure.
No. So then they put us in the ambulance and sent us all the way down to Erlanger. And finally, they gave me that medicine that stopped, to
Labor.
give labor. Yeah. Which is horrible. I don't know if you've ever had to have it, but it makes you feel like your veins are on fire. Anyway, so both of my boys.
Well,
So
almost.
how ironic today we're going to talk
Ooh,
about
they have
choosing.
life.
Yes. And they're so full of life for
Aw.
Jesus. And that is just so
Miracle.
inspiring. Yeah. So many miracles, so many miracles. So today I wanted to bring you here to just so I am her life coach, and I think it's so great that
My lifeline.
she's given me that privilege and honor to just coach through life, because you inspire me as well. And so I just wanted you to share a little bit on how you personally have chosen life. Like, what have you, I know you've gone through some things, hard times, and
Repeatedly.
yeah, well,
I've had lots of choices in my life. I mean, I've had lots of opportunity where Satan has literally, the enemy has tried to take my life.
Sure.
I mean, there have been multiple things. We were in a head-on collision in 1990, my mom, dad, and my husband and I. And, we were hit head-on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we should have and could have died. I mean, my mom did die. She lived 19 days. My dad was saved miraculously by an airbag, but we didn't have passenger side airbags in that day.
Wow.
My husband and I were in the back seat, and basically, I mean, so many miracles happened to save our lives. I mean, the helicopter was headed out for another accident.
See, there you go.
And they rerouted them to us because we had more victims. I mean, they airlifted my husband to the hospital.
Wow.
By the time I got there in the ambulance, my mom and I both, we were just rotated through surgery. We all had, major internal wounds. My mom ultimately did die after 19 days, but my husband and I were miraculously saved. He had 200 units of blood and blood products.
Wow.
And, I had a broken back and I lost a kidney.
Gosh.
And, our stories are full of miracles. There are so many miracles to outlive the attempts on us not having life. And ultimately, we spent 2 months in the intensive care. And so many miracles later, I learned to walk again because of a broken back.
Did you have to wear that brace?
I should have been paralyzed. I mean, literally an
say.
angel showed up at my side of the car and just held me straight until the ambulance came with the backboard, because my spine was off at a 90-degree turn. My dura was exposed, which you can be paralyzed from.
I just love your medical terminology.
Well, it's just so miraculous to think that I actually have I have a lot of leftover, residual, but nothing that's, life-threatening, which it could have been our lives. And
so did you see any, like during that time when it was all going on, did you feel anything? Did you see anything? Did you think this was your last day?
I was just praying to pass out because the pain was so bad. I was like, could I just please just exit this,
Yeah.
But, the stories go on from there. I mean, we recovered, we went back home. My dad's best friend flew us home. We were in Oregon at the time and we lived in California. We went on to have 4 happy, healthy babies. We had a successful, thriving business. I mean, ultimately, we went through like a surprising other attempt on our life and our marriage. And ultimately, my husband and I, after 25 years, ended up, having a split, and that was sad, very sad. It was an attempt on the enemy to break a very powerful union that we spiritually had.
Yeah.
But we didn't let God out of our sight. We have had his lifeline all along, but there have been many attempts, that was a sad day for me.
Sure,
and I literally moved across the country with my 4 kids, just, the next
So you were living in California?
Yeah. And we moved to Tennessee. That's how we ended up here. But I mean, we packed up 4 kids, 4 horses in a Suburban and a horse trailer. And 7 days later, we were across the country to Tennessee. My best friend and her husband lived here. They had moved here 5 years before. The only people I knew in Tennessee, and we started all over again. And, another huge attempt on my passion for life.
Sure.
I had always been optimistic, positive, very passionate, very strong. And, it took the wind out of my sails.
Sure it does.
And I just literally had to kind of choose life every day because, for 10 years, I really kind of had to just keep deciding today, put that next step forward, But I got into a very dark place. I thought that I was still a very positive, optimistic person.
Yeah.
But you know what? I literally was in probably a really dark tunnel. There was like 2 of me.
Sure.
The me that was positive and strong and could do this. And I just leaned into the wind and
That's
I was
the
going to
go
make it
mode.
happen.
Yeah, you're in go mode.
But underneath, you know what? I was imploding.
Just so hurting, so bad.
I was imploding. And I thought I was doing okay. But, I didn't really at that time want to do passion and zest in life. And I think I was just tired and just bled to death. And, I didn't have good boundaries. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't know really anything about, my worth.
Right.
I let all the other things in my life define my value. And they were false. They were lies.
Right.
From the enemy. You taught me that.
Well, I listened to lies for so long. I mean,
that was the whole issue. I was not seeing myself, what you've taught me, to see myself in the light of the cross. I mean, your passion for Jesus and the Father.
I adore him. I can't breathe without him. I'm reckless without him.
Well, you've given me that view. It saved my life. I mean, you have saved my life. You saved my family's life. My new, amazing, awesome marriage, which God put another miracle in my life.
Yeah, he's pretty cool too. Yeah, she got a bonus one too.
And you've saved all of this from me. I mean, I could have escaped. I wanted to numb and escape. And, I went into a really dark tunnel for a long time. And you literally brought me out of that tunnel.
But this is what I have to let you know, how you inspire me, is because you choose. I can't choose it for you. And you have chosen every day to just get up and make life its best and its fullest for that day. I mean, you choose. I can't, as much as, it's like building a house. I can give you a tool, but unless you pick up that tool,
you've been my lifeline. CPR. Okay. You taught me to take a brick from my old building that was shattered and breaking down, carry it across the bridge and put it in new brick in a new castle.
Well, you know what? We walked each other to the other side. And the good thing about it is this is what I am. I'm an advocate for not doing life alone. You can't do life alone, because we are better together. Like you inspire me and you encourage me. And I'm just grateful that God put his girls together and
it's fun.
Allowed us to do.
We're soulmate friends, sister souls.
We definitely
for life. I have to tell you, it's been more fun than it's been a hard go at it. And you have helped me and given me a lifeline when I felt like, I don't want to do tomorrow. I just want to do today.
Well, every minute, some days we just want to pull the covers over our head. Let me just say that if you are looking for someone that wants to, or is going to inspire you, and they make life look all roses, or that everything smells great and there's rainbows every day, that's a false narrative, because that's not my life either. So I choose life every day as well. I choose. Yesterday, if I said the word overwhelmed 5 times, and then immediately, the sweet voice in my gut, which I call my Holy Ghost, my Jesus, he said, listen to what you're saying. And I was like, that's no.
Reformat the hard drive.
I was like, I might be tired, but it is the strength that the Lord gives me to get through this. It is the strength that the Lord gives. And I just kept rehearsing what I teach and what I coach,
Change those arrows, flip them to be from self-defeating to positive.
And everybody has a delete button. And so I had to delete that of, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just took one task at a time, 1 minute at a time. And one day at a time. Baby steps every day. But what's important is that we choose life.
Yes.
We choose life. And even life in our tongue and not death. I mean, we speak our environment. We speak so like, have you ever awakened one day and you didn't feel good and you talked yourself into not feeling good, or you've talked yourself out of not feeling good?
Well, our words are a self-fulfilling prophecy.
They are. And so if I kept saying, I'm overwhelmed, then I was walking in defeat. But if I say, you know what, I got this, one step at a time, 1 minute at a time, one drawer at a time, because I'm trying to pack up this whole house and move to Florida.
Overwhelming.
It is overwhelming when you go from
But you make it look easy.
Oh, well, you should see my knees. Oh my gosh. So I just feel like if you were to inspire or to encourage a listening audience, what would you inspire them today on, maybe a one word? What would be one word that you could inspire some women or people out there? It's not just a woman thing. It's a person. It's a people thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, recently we've been on this Re is just an opportunity.
Which means again,
birth of a whole new redo, reformat, refresh, everything. We have second chances to become unstoppable. Yeah. And I believe that's the pathway that we're on, and we keep choosing that. Just, reclaim.
Yeah.
Reclaim.
Yeah.
Start today, and don't let this day go without it being, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Yeah. Well, I had the word for, I don't know if you guys do, and I'd love to inspire you to do this, but every year I have this word. And last year my word was increase, and the Lord just increased us exponentially. And this year my word was restore. And it's interesting how we've gotten this coronavirus and we're in this quarantine, and we could look at things with, the breath knocked out of us. But in this process, you can still flourish in the famine.
Oh, so many silver linings to these clouds.
So many. And, revisit who you really are. Like, what is reprioritize?
Yeah,
what's important during this time? Do we really need
all the stuff?
As the girl goes through her closet, her
Everybody
closets.
says go to all the thrift places when this is over. Everyone's been trapped at home and they've completely gone through their entire places.
I have
it's just
so much.
It's purging.
Much.
It's freeing.
It is
so empowering to simplify.
And I love a clean room. I just love clean, and I do better in clean, not clutter. I don't know about you, but I hate clutter.
Everything about this quarantine is just symbolically, it's all that whole freshness. Get it all out with the old and with the new, and then just also gardening has been so symbolic for me.
Yes,
more seeds, more bulbs, and I can't wait to see them flourish because it's so symbolic of new birth and freshness and spring and just of all that's gone on.
Well, speaking of which, I don't want you to go into extreme detail, but tell me what you did in your garden. The picture that you showed me, how you planted these certain plants, and then something that was so dear to you.
You made me cry.
Yeah.
So throughout all this, in this last year, Sandy, thanks.
Sorry, it's okay.
I lost the biggest hero of my life through everything that I've ever gone through. My dad was my rock. He was there unconditionally, an example of God, the Father on earth, unconditionally loving support, cheerleader, just cheerleader.
I got you. Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So within the last year, I lost my father. And, I didn't realize I was going through the stages of grief.
Yeah.
I had no idea, honestly, that I was processing like I was. It kind of just basically, kind of went under.
Yeah.
Well, one day I woke up and I realized you gave me these notes of the stages of grief.
Right.
And I was going through all your notes and I saw the stages of grief, and all of a sudden I saw the word depression. And I was like, oh my goodness. It was right before the stage of acceptance. And I thought, I have been so dark and in such a long tube of metamorphosis, kind of like a butterfly or a what do you call it? A chrysalis, where the butterfly has to come out of the cocoon.
Yeah.
And you can't come out
there.
of it early. If you don't let that butterfly squeeze its way out and get all the liquid off their wings, they can't fly.
Right.
So literally it was my metamorphosis. It was time for me to come out. And just, that rebirth of that moment of me seeing that word depression right before acceptance, it was so powerful. It just spoke to me and I just went, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And the lights just went on for me. And I was like, acceptance. My dad would not want me here.
No.
Sad, sorrowful.
No.
He would want me joyful and passionately making a life for my children and my husband and thriving, not just surviving.
Yes.
So that day I went out and I bought, a lot of seeds and I planted at grandpa's garden.
That's awesome.
So I put
so therapeutic.
The white alyssum as the sunbeam,
Okay.
and then all these little rows coming out like rays of sunshine of veggies, herbs and veggies. So when that
life, you're just planting life.
And it's coming up, and when I look
even
at
now,
and when I look at that sun and I look at the rays, it's just so meaningful to me of restarting and instilling what my dad would really want, a celebration of life in every day, and instilling that to others, my kids, my family, just the joy that we have because God's willing to lose all the stuff of our existence.
Yeah.
And redo it in his beauty. And
it is beautiful.
Beauty for ashes.
But you know what? It's a choice, and it's something that you chose to do. I mean, you chose to let go.
Not easy. The dark days of my life.
Well,
and you just helped streamline me to light that candle every day and get that spark going and seeing what God really has in view of him looking at me. I never looked at myself with that value and that worth, and that was my problem. I was defining myself.
Well, I think the enemy of our soul wants us to live in such shame and guilt that we aren't good enough, pretty enough, sweet enough, kind enough.
Self-condemnation.
And that is not from the Father that I serve. And for years, I lived that out loud,
Me too.
just being so promiscuous and, and not having personal value myself. I mean, when I begin to tell you the stories, of course, and it's in the book of my life, and to think that I was that girl, it's
Hard
just
to believe.
who was that girl?
Me too. And I look back at the tunnels and the dark places and the tombs. Like right now, I feel like my life is like Jesus rolled back the stone.
Yeah.
This Easter was the most incredible
Yes.
epitome of picture of my life, where I was in that tomb and he just rolled back that stone
That's
and
so
just
good.
feeling the sunshine of his love and the freedom.
Yes.
Oh, it's so powerful.
Well, in the next few minutes, I just want to encourage the listening audience here with 3 things on how to make good decisions. And you know me, I'm all about acronyms. I learn the best. I mean, you probably have 15,000 of them in a book when I coach her. But, the beginning of starting with now, like now, you have to start now. But if you turn that word around, it's one, W-O-N. Now, N-O-W, and then you flip that script, it's one. So every day, every minute of the day, which is now, I won. So now I always won.
Oh, that's
like
so
always.
cool.
But the acronym for those who are perhaps out listening and want to take notes, it's the N is no one can do this but you, and no one could do it but you.
Wow.
You chose life. Like I could give you tools, but you chose to implement them. Like
Finally, I'm such a slow learner.
No, it's you just did though. And that's what's so great. You did. But I choose not to coach people who need coaching, but who want coaching, because there's a difference. Because I can't change you if you don't acknowledge that.
But we have to fall on our faces and realize that, you know what? We have to admit it.
Which is so beautiful, because the O is own up to your own personal responsibility. Take ownership of. So there you go. So you got to take ownership of, okay, what personal belonging, or what can I take from this, or personal responsibility in this situation, acknowledge it, and then, work on it.
Yeah. I thought I had. Here's the funny thing, is that I thought that I had surrendered. I thought that, God was the God of my life. And, but really, I think I was still driving.
Yeah.
I really had to hit hard to realize, get over in the passenger seat and actually literally, no kidding.
Well, letting go is tough. I mean, for all of us, especially moms too, when you try to help with children and navigate them and letting go. But you know what? If you see yourself with white knuckles, you know that you aren't letting go.
Oh, wow.
Because this is a sign and a symbol of
control issues.
Yes. If you can just freely let go, then there is no white knuckles. So
I always think about the monkey that put our hand in the candy jar.
Yeah.
While they're trying to hold on to it and get it out. They can't get their hand out until they let go.
They can't, no. Or
That's
the child. Okay, so the W is winners never quit. And that's the difference. The difference between someone who falls and doesn't get back up is the sinner and the saint. The saint gets back up. The one that keeps trying, and the one that keeps working, and the one that says, you know what? No, I'm not going to quit. I'm just not going to quit. So
I've heard that from athletes, where they're just like,
no,
you
can't quit.
I mean, what do you say about failure? Failure is not final.
No, it's not final. And it may be an event. I have failed so many times at things. But you know what? If I ever want to be known for something, it's for trying.
Back up again.
Yeah. I'm going to be known for trying, not quitting. Yeah, for sure. So I think that's the first one, is starting with now. The second one is, what am I going to gain and what am I going to lose in choosing life? What am I going to gain in this situation? What am I going to lose? And making good choices. What am I going to gain? What am I going to lose? Because everything has a gain or a loss. Yeah.
Boy, that is for sure.
Isn't it true?
I hear your voice in my head so many times to play out that in my head.
What am I going to gain?
This,
yes, I'm going to choose death.
Yeah,
or if I choose this, I'm going to choose life.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Now
She's adorable.
Now it's like I hear you in the back of my mind. It echoes when I'm ready to make a choice. It's like, oh,
what am I going to gain? What am I going to lose? Yeah. I hope you're a really happy voice. Okay, so the third one is, just remember that today is called a gift, the present, because it is a gift. And today, I just want to encourage you, live your gift out loud. It's a gift. It's the present.
Mhm.
And you can be the creator of your own masterpiece. It's
Mhm.
whatever canvas you choose, whatever picture you
Boy,
choose.
our life is artwork for sure.
Isn't it though, to place on that portrait? And for me, I didn't see the portrait of my life looking like this, but I would, if this is God's plan for me, which is the best, because I trust him more than I trust myself, then I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful.
I love it.
I'm grateful. Your life is a masterpiece. There's nothing that you can't do. It's what Brian Tracy says. And he encourages us with this quote. He says, make your life a masterpiece. Imagine no limitations on what you can have, be, or do. So let's just end this with this beautiful life of choosing life to
And
live
celebration.
Yes.
You have chosen life, and now you're having a birthday.
on this 57th birthday.
Ooh.
You know what? So many people are like, oh, don't tell your age. I'm like, oh, it's just a number. Well, yesterday I felt 57. No, I was
And our dads
56.
were still 35.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today
Yeah,
as
it's
we
been
wrap
great.
up this Wednesday's webinar. I just love my friend. She's so inspiring to me. We are sisters for life. And if you are by chance looking for a life coach, I would love for you first to like this YouTube channel and come revisit the first Wednesday of every month. And I have some previously on here. Just like it and share it. Maybe you see someone that's like they're making some bad choices, or someone and you see the reflection of their own life. Forward this to them. And maybe it can encourage them to start now, because every time they start, they won. Take personal responsibility, and then today is the gift. It's the present. Go look me up on my website. It's sandykramer.tv, and let's get connected. If you need a life coach, I would be honored to coach you in life. We need each other.
I can highly recommend.
We need each other.
Success.
Thank you so much. And I pray that your day goes well and that you choose wisely. Thank you.